What's up, guys? Matt at Performance Fab. Made a post this past week kind of teasing on what we were doing with Devin's engine, and we finally said what it was. And then I made a little post just being joking about it, put this Coyote, I guess, coil cover on the big block, saying this is as close as we can get to putting a Coyote or something different Ford powered in this car. So we're just going to make a little video kind of talking about the reasons why this thing does have a big block Chevrolet. I mean, we're not really seeking the approval of anybody, don't care about that, but there's reasonings behind. I mean, we're both Ford guys, honestly. He ran the small block Ford for 10, 15 years probably in the convertible.
I was the biggest small block Ford advocate there was, but you know, the writing was on the wall that we had to do something different. So
in my current car I'm building now, I'm building a small block Ford for it. So I mean, and I'm, like I said, I'm a pretty big Ford guy, but like there's true reasons why we switch over at certain points in time. And I'll be honest, if I didn't have all the parts for mine, I would probably put a big block Chevrolet in it now, just because of the money and the logistics of getting parts and getting stuff repaired. And I mean, we'll kind of get into the reasons why. So like I said, so just for example with Devin's, when he had the small block Ford, he's had probably, what was that, 3 different head combinations, like a trick flow head? 4.
Yeah,
so 4 different types of small block Ford. So out of the last one's a Blue Thunder, which is a canted valve style. And the one before that was a Victor headed combo, which is another awesome. Those are 2 top tier small block Ford.
The best inline head probably the best inline head you could buy, and then you know, a canted valve head that's like kind of exotic when it comes to small block Ford stuff.
And so the last combo at World Cup, y'all ran what, 680?
671 at 218.
So the car had been really fast already.
Oh yeah.
And then that was street car doing drag and drives. That was actually a race, but so that was in the end of the year, fall. Pulled the engine out to freshen it up and go to sick week. And there were mistakes made somewhere. And this is a brand new fresh engine. What was it, second or third pass on it?
The first pass had pushed 2 quarts of oil into the puke tank, and I was like, man, I must have just overfilled.
Right.
And that wasn't the case. Second pass made it to 330 and catastrophic failure.
Yeah, bad. I mean, this is a fresh engine. I mean,
brand new crank, rods, pistons, the head, valves, rocker. I mean, springs, the whole 9 yards. Everything new. A lot of money invested.
Yeah, $8,000 to $10,000 freshen up, basically.
No.
More than that.
Yeah, we're talking a $20,000 freshen up, right? No, I got the receipts too. Yeah. It was a $20,000 freshen up on a pretty, you know, exotic, but not super exotic small block Ford. It let go in catastrophic fashion, and then we enlisted the help of a different machine shop, and we got it fixed, and it's right, and it's the new owner of it. Everything's good to go. So, but
during that process of he deciding what to do, it was either fix this engine and try to get back to racing, or figure something. And he had to wait on parts. I mean, like you needed sleeves and like everything.
So the line that separated me from keeping the small block Ford and going to a big block Chevrolet was the $1,300 head studs. Yeah, $1,300 head studs. I was just pissed at that point. You know what I mean? And then the valve sizes are like so obscure that like you can't. It's not an LS.
It's not off the shelf.
It's not off the shelf. Yeah. It's everything was a struggle to get. Weeks and weeks of waiting. I know a lot of people in the industry. I called in a bunch of favors to get pistons. Like it was a pain. And the engine shop that fixed that engine for me was the one that wound up being my big block Chevrolet guys. And I don't think I should have said that on camera, because they did not want to touch a Ford, just because they do nothing but big block Chevrolets, you know. So
yeah. So during that process of fixing that engine, taking it to him, he kind of started pondering putting the big block Chevrolet in it, and he asked how long it would take to build this engine, and he said, well, basically said, you have the parts? Can you get the parts?
So this is a pretty funny story. I go in there and Matt's like, man, just do it, you know. And he's a Ford guy, and I'm like, I don't know. But Josh, who's not here, not in this video, but Josh, our good friend, he's the one who drives. He's going to be driving his car. He drove the convertible. You guys know who he is, big beard. Josh Davis. He's Chevrolet guy, right? So I walk into Par, Scott Duggan's at Par, and I think I just got them head studs in, these $1,300 stupid head studs, and And I was like, you know, they've been up my ass about this. What do I got? What would it take to do a big block Chevrolet? He's like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, twin turbo motor. All right, or a single turbo motor.
Yeah, it was
That's
still
right,
single.
turbo. Yeah. And he's like, all right. And I was like, well, I mean, you know, like how long does it take to get parts and whatnot? He's like, I don't know. How long does it take you to walk over there and grab the shit off the shelf? And I was like, oh.
So you literally went and put your name on the box.
Yeah. So you know, you're like a kid in a candy store when you buy something new. You know, you get excited. So I said, man, I guess we're going to do it. So I go up, I said, well, what kind of deposit? He goes, I don't need a deposit. I said, what do you mean you don't need a deposit? He goes, if you don't buy it, somebody else will. He's like, we build 200 of these things a year. I said, okay, well. So anyway, I went home, talked to Laura about it, and she was like, screw it, just do it, you know. She's not the voice of reason with this, as most wives are. She's not, you know. So I go up there with some cash, and I was like, hey, man, I want to put my name on a block because, like, I was afraid. With a small block Ford, I had a pretty rare block.
Yeah.
Right?
Already,
K351.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, K351 aluminum block. You don't get them
No.
off the shelf. They stopped making them 20 years ago. So when I was like, man, aluminum big block Chevrolet, you know, and I was like, well, man, if you got a block, I want to put my name on it. And he's like, oh, well, all right. And he walks me like, 30 feet away, and he's like, well, pick one of them and put your name on
right.
it. And there's 40 blocks sitting on the floor. And you're like, oh. It's unreal, you know.
Yeah.
It's different. It's a different world, you know. So when you get hung up racing with that exotic engine, and you miss a couple events, you get kind of mad, and you know, and that leads us to what we're talking about today,
right.
you know. So
yeah, so like that engine, he had the new big block. Mm-hmm. He bought it, or they are committed to buying it. They built it, brought it here. We put it in, new motor plates, mid plates, all that stuff. Built a new turbo kit because it was still single at the time. Mm-hmm. Bigger turbo than the small block had, but still single. Built headers. Literally was back to racing before all the parts showed up to fix the small block Ford.
And it was repainted. It was repainted.
Right, yeah.
Like the under the hood was repainted. Like
yeah, because we redid some bars.
Yeah, we which had nothing to do with the engine,
no,
but it's
right.
just because of me, you know, being me. Yeah, I mean, like, it was all repainted. I rewired the car. We replumbed it. And I still didn't have all the parts of the small block Ford.
Right.
Like, I still didn't have them all. It's like, you know, and again, you know, Scott Duggan's at Par and the guys at Par, they keep a lot of parts in stock. And that's a big deciding factor for me, you know.
Yeah. And it can break, too. That's the thing. We understand. People get caught up, I've spent this much money, it shouldn't break. That's not racing.
No,
I mean,
it's not.
It sucks. It's part of it, but I mean, stuff's going to break. Even the best stuff breaks. So, he wanted to be able to fix stuff faster and be back racing as fast as possible, and that was really and Scott, literally, from my shop, Scott's 10 minutes down the road. From Devin, it's like 40 minutes. I mean, and he's got parts in stock. Like, it's conventional headed style big block.
Yep.
It's nothing exotic at all. I mean, even if he didn't have it, it wouldn't be hard to get a hold of,
right.
Which is one of the main reasons, I mean, that just led to that decision. And it's just a tougher engine, really. I mean,
right.
It's bigger parts, bigger crankshaft. I mean, that's one of the downfalls of it is it's heavier, but, I mean, it kind of makes up for it.
It does. Well, so like a lot of you guys that are watching this are probably LS guys, right? And like your parts availability, you guys don't understand small block Ford life, right? I know because I've worked on plenty of you guys' cars, and everyone's like, well, what do you mean? You don't have it on the shelf? Yeah, I don't, you know, surprisingly, but LS stuff is everywhere.
Right.
It's everywhere. And the Coyote is getting there.
Yeah.
You know, as far as parts availability, aftermarket parts availability. But really what I think is one of the most important things you can do with your racing program is understand that the engine that's in the car when you start it doesn't have to be the engine that's in the car for its life.
Right.
It don't. Like, you can change it. Like, it's possible.
Right.
You know?
Well, another, like, to that point of you can change around and everything. It's not a one size fits all for everybody. So, like, one reason why this works so well is because Scott is here. So, like, where you live at, there might be a small block Ford only builder that keeps a lot of stuff in stock. So that might be better for you.
Yeah.
Or if you live in Florida and you got Fast Forward down there, like Brett and all those. I mean, it just, there's no one size fits all. It's what you want to do. Who you build a relationship with a shop or people that can help grow both parties, you know what I mean, and support each other, you know.
Yeah, so like the engine, like a lot of people. So I'm different. I'm a different customer. A lot of you guys watching work on your own stuff a lot, and that's good. and being familiar with it. When it comes to engines, my limit is like lashing valves, changing plugs, changing oil. You know what I mean? Compression, leak down tests, but like beyond that, like I'm out. You know what I mean? Like I'm out. Like I mean, knock on Gromala here. We ain't had no real problems with the big block Chevrolet, but I bring it to Scott. I pull the intake off of it, like to have it fresh, and I bring it to him. I pick it back up complete because I don't want to do it. Like I don't have time for it. I have too much other stuff that I need to be doing, and if you want to work on your own stuff, more power to you. I'm good for it, but it's a lot easier to work on something that's been around for a really long time, or the same architecture for a really long time. So big block Chevrolet is easy to work on. LS, easy to work on. Small block Ford, reasonably easy to work on. Coyote, mod motor, for people that do it all the time, easy to work on. For everybody else, not. So a lot of people got really mad about not putting a Coyote in this car. Wow, it's weird.
And the thing is, we like them, but we look at stuff. When it comes to racing, simplicity is a big deal. So I don't know if you've looked into these engines, but there's a lot of moving parts, and they're small parts. Not saying that makes it a bad engine, but for us, we want something that's going to be a little more robust. I mean, we already got something that's proven. This thing, it's been 390s in the convertible, a heavy car. 3,100 pounds. With a quarter-mile gear and no lockup. Like, I mean, it's not beating on it. Like, it didn't have to come out and get freshened up afterwards. And to me, I was like, God dang, this is pretty impressive. That it's just still loves it. It doesn't care. And I'm not saying you can't do that with an LS, and you can't do that with a small block Ford, and you can't do it with a Coyote. I mean, it's been proven, it's been done with all those combos, but to what extent? Right.
You know what I mean? Is it apples for apples? Probably not. If you're building a heavy car, put a motor in it that can take some abuse, because that Coyote that's sitting behind Matt, we're going to look at here in a minute, that's not going to run at 3,100 pounds like it will run at 2,600 pounds. So you're going to wind up hurting that a heck of a lot sooner than you will hurting this. And honestly, dollar for dollar, it's about the same.
Yeah, it really is, and that's a struggle I have personally with running a Coyote. It's like, I go show you this one. It's a buddy of ours. It's from FFRE. I think it's a stage 2-ish, so it's a sleeve block, but it's stock crank, stock block, stock heads, and then whatever else they've done to make this thing hold what it'll hold. I think they rate that at like 18-ish maybe. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. Something around there.
Under 2,000, right around 2,000, something like that. Which I'm sure you could push it past. That, but,
And then it's got to build it into. I don't know 100% the cost on it, but it's knocking on $30,000 for this kind of combo, and the big block's not far off, and it's 100%. I mean, it's a hip aftermarket block, hip heads. I mean,
crank. Right. You know what I mean? Like aluminum rod, the whole 9 yards. Like it's everything, and you can get whatever intake you want. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit more money than the Coyote.
Right. For sure.
It is a little bit more money, but if you get into the Coyote that's sitting behind Matt is a pretty basic. Right. No, it ain't the top of the line. So a lot of you guys in comment section are like, well, man, Brett runs this and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he does. And Brett and everybody involved with that with Snot Rocket 3.0 are extremely talented, and they are very good at racing, and Brett is extremely detail-oriented. Yeah. And a lot of you guys watching, I'm sorry, but you probably aren't. All right?
They don't just set it and forget it.
It's not something
they
that
work.
Just sit in the car, and then, the engine's done, we're good. They stay on top of that. He's got a great working relationship with FFRE. I know, because I've talked to him about it.
He had dinner with him the other night.
We all had dinner the other night. Like, it's not, I'm not just making this up. They're awesome guys. They built an awesome product. And if you want a Coyote, you should probably deal with them. Right. You should probably deal with FFRE for sure. But understand that it's not something that, if you want to make 3,000 horsepower with this, and you want to make 3,000 horsepower with that, this will do it.
You're pushing this harder, no doubt.
That's maybe 95% duty cycle. Right. This is maybe 75% duty cycle. So, what's up, man? So this is our little
shop dog.
But you're not killing this thing to run what where you have to kill this thing to run the same stuff, apples to apples, in the car weight and gearing and all that kind of stuff. So.
And that's actually one of the downfalls with this engine is it makes power too freaking easy. It's hard to manage the torque that engine will make.
It is. One of the other guys, remember the big block Ford?
Oh yeah.
Oh geez. So we both got roasted in comments and YouTube and Facebook and whatnot. You need to put a big block Ford. A Ford belongs in a Ford. All that stuff that y'all love to say, and I get it. You know what I mean? Like I wish I could do it, but the big block Ford is a bigger, more exotic version of the small block Ford.
Right. Even more
Even
so.
more so. My opinion, the best small block on the planet's a small block Ford.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Can't beat it, right? The best big engine for race car only is a Hemi.
Right. Yeah.
Guess what you're working on all the time? A Hemi.
Right.
All the time. You're breaking it. So.
And we're not LS guys because honestly the LS bros kill it for us in the beginning. They're a capable engine, and if you're on a big budget, it's hard to beat it. You know, you get a good block, good head, you make 1,000 to the wheels, pretty easy. You know what I mean? But that's not what we're doing, so it's not even an option. And then when you get into something nicer in the LS, it becomes exotic, and then you're having honestly the same problems you will with like an exotic small block Ford. I mean, just finding parts becomes trickier.
The only good thing about an LS, an exotic LS, is that there's so many of them out there now. You know what I mean? There's just so much of it out there that like it's becoming a lot less exotic. Where the small block Ford guys, like all 9 of them, are kind of just saturated what they've got, and it's like there's like 9 to 15 guys left that are still doing it. And don't get me wrong, you look at Heads Up Racing.
Oh yeah, those 9 are winning a lot of races.
Those 9 are winning a lot of races. Ultra Street, X, 275. Those two categories are like dominated typically by the small block Ford stuff. So it's a great killer engine. But if you're going to do something like what we're planning on doing with this car, it's going to be tough to run with this because of how hard you're going to have to push it. The big block Ford thing, there's only a handful of people that do it. And there's and they make killer power. Like they make killer power. And they can take a lot of horsepower, a lot of boost and whatnot, but it's another problem where you better hope you live down the road from John Connor.
Right. Well, that's like, rest in peace, Keith Szabo. That's what he ran was a big block Ford twin. His dad worked at Kazi, so he had a good relationship, and I mean he won a lot of races.
They raced 2-3 times a weekend, every weekend.
Right.
That's what he did for a living. It was amazing. He was single-handedly the big block Ford guy, and he did it over and over and over again, and he did not have failures.
Right.
But he had kind of an inside line to that, and so really what you want to do, in my opinion, is find your inside line to someone that's going to work with you. If you have an LS, or if you have a budget and a goal of 1,000 horsepower, you can't touch the LS.
No, you can't beat it.
You can't beat the LS. The Coyote can probably do it too, but the Coyote doesn't have any nuts.
Right. And I mean, just from dollar point of view, a stock long block Coyote is going to cost way more than an LS. Unless you got to hook up at a junkyard somewhere.
Right. Yeah, and you're hard pressed to find the right stuff. Where the LS stuff, I mean, you guys are flying on it. Like Capizzi's flying on a stock. When he had the stock bottom end combo, he leaves out what goes into the car. Right. Which is fine. Yeah. But the engine's doing a great job. There's a ton of great LS engine builders too. Not knocking any of them. A couple of them that come to mind. Pete Harrell at HED, he does everything. But he's great with LSs. And Ace Racing engine, Stephen Rossi, killer LS stuff. But now you're into that upper tier financial.
Right. 100%.
And it's like, well, now once you're committed to spending $50,000 on an engine, $60,000 on an engine, you can decide kind of what you want. You go this way, that way, a Hemi, or whatever you want to do, So why don't we show them kind of the differences in size and stuff of this?
All right, let me flip this thing around. All right, so here's the Coyote. I'll say he's got a tape measure. So we just kind of measured corner to corner just to kind of get an eyeball. So you're almost 30 inches, if you can see that. 30 inches from corner to corner of valve cover to valve cover wide on that. And that's something you got to think about on some of these combos. It's not a big deal in an S550 chassis, even one that's got all the factory strut, because these cars are big, they're really wide. But a Fox body, that's what this engine goes in, is in a Fox body, but it's tight. I mean, we have we cut out the strut tower. I mean, the top of the strut tower is still there, but we tubed everything else. So it's got more space than most, but it's hard to put that engine in certain things. So that's the Coyote, and it was 30 inches. Here's the big block that's in this car. Let's see.
Where am I at?
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Yep. About 25 inches.
Yeah.
So almost 5-inch different width. I mean, this is obviously a longer engine, and it's like I said, one of the other disadvantages. This thing's heavy. I mean, I've weighed this style combo, that Coyote combo. Off the top of my head, I think this big block was
about 115 pounds
heavier than the Coyote. Yep. And then the LS, I had a billet block LS we weighed, and it was a little bit lighter than the Coyote. And then our buddy Jake, he told me the other day his long block LS is like 380. So it's a very light engine. I mean, honestly, for what it'll do. And they're small. That's one of the things that is great about them. But
yeah, the LS is killer for fitting it in a tight package. They're killer. You're not going to fit a Coyote everywhere you're going to fit an LS. And then think about the Coyote is like a baby Hemi.
Right.
So now you want to go to a Hemi. That Hemi is huge.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it doesn't have 4 cams.
Right.
It's only got one.
Right.
And that head is huge.
Yeah.
That thing is wide. It is laid out. So like, earlier we were talking about the car doesn't have to live with the same engine in it the rest of its life.
Right.
How about if so maybe one day, I mean, come on, one day, you know me, right? What if I say, hey man, I found a water jacketed Hemi. That's what we're going to do now. It's not impossible to do in this car.
No, not at all. I mean, I've had quite a few customers like that have brought, most recently, it's an LDR car. A couple years ago, they brought it. It was a big block Chevy Pro Charge deal, and they were going to switch it to a Hemi Pro Charge deal. And I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, obviously, you have to redo the motor plate, set the engine heights. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Is the thing. I mean. Yeah. It's way nicer. You don't got to be married to something. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, like so if you've got an LS in your car and you decide, hey, I want to pick up some power. You go watch this video. You saw some measurements. Now you have an idea of where it is at valve covers, and you want to go to a Coyote. You know, there it is. There's your measurement. See if you can fit that thing in there, and set it in your car. To me, if I were to rank engines, right, from like when it just comes to we're going to talk about drag and drive because to me, that's what we're doing this car for. So it makes most sense, right? Streetability and horsepower. If I were to rank engines, in my opinion, the things that go into it for me are parts availability, horsepower potential, its reliability, right? And then you have to put in cost, right? So when it comes to the non-exotic stuff, right? So you go like the SMX is a good engine, like Alan Whitaker's got one in his car. Good engine. No gripes about it. In fact, we almost put one in this car. But basically, we have such a great working relationship apart. All the reasons we just explained 10 minutes ago is the reason it doesn't have an SMX. But the SMX is probably the ultimate potential for a drag and drive engine.
Yeah, this time because there's not water's the problem. I mean, billets everywhere. I mean, we can buy billet big block, billet Hemi, but we need it to be cool on the drag and drive combo.
So to me, the standard conventional big block Chevrolet is, in my opinion, number one at the moment. This Coyote, if you build a car that's light enough to take advantage of this, like Brett did, and you're willing to put forth the effort that Brett does. This is a very close second, in my opinion, right? A lot of people are going to be in the comments going, the Coyote's better, blah, blah, blah. So what I think we're going to do, these ain't the right valve covers for this engine. The billet ones are actually off getting lasered right now. And I think what we're going to do, we're going to call the laser guy tomorrow. We're going to put Coyote right here. Coyote, right? And then if you'd like, go ahead and comment your like Facebook at whatever, and if we have enough room, we'll just laser all of your at whatevers for YouTube and for Instagram and whatever on the valve cover so that you guys can have a place to cry because this car doesn't have a Coyote. So, I'm kidding, lighten up. But yeah, we're gonna call this thing the Coyote. That's why it's got a big block and not a Coyote.
Yeah. And another thing is just money wise. I mean, this isn't a cheap setup.
No.
But as far as capability, in my opinion, this is the best bang for the buck. And when it comes to drag and drive or race engines in general, I mean, I mean, this is just a roundabout. It's roughly 40 to 42-ish with a billet intake. That's
No.
more than that on these now? Okay, a little more.
So if you get in, so like you can get into this engine, no intake, fabs valve covers, disregard this, the fancy, but you'll gear drive and stuff and all that. Fab valve covers, no intake, you get into this engine about 42, right? External oil pump, whatever, all that. You start adding these intakes, they're the same money no matter the engine, right? So like, I think this is $7,000. Valve covers are going to add $1,000 to it. There's some parts that are going to add some money up to it. This engine, I haven't gotten a bill on this engine. This is the new engine for this car. We just don't have the right valve cover yet. I haven't gotten a bill for this yet because Scott's like, whatever. I just gave him a check and I said, just let me know what it's going to be before you deposit it because I need to know if it's going to clear or not. You know what I mean? But so I can't tell you an honest to God number of what this engine costs, but I promise you, if it's 50 and you want to build a Coyote that's the same horsepower capable, you're going to be in it the same money.
And the reason why I say bang for the buck, so that, like in my opinion, this is the last of the line before you start getting into billet block, billet heads, the very exotic stuff like a SMX. I mean they're what 100, 120. I mean, it's like
And I'll tell you, if you go on to Steve Morris's channel and you watch them making that block, he's got like an hour-long video of him making that block. Man, there's a lot that goes into that. Yeah. It's a ton. So like, I'm not sitting here telling you that his price is not valid because it is. There's a lot of time and money that go into that thing. Plus, it's loaded with all the same high-dollar parts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the same. Don't get me wrong. You can get into a big block Chevrolet from Par in the 30s.
Right.
That will live with drag and drive, make similar horsepower. You can get into this big block Chevrolet. Not this one. This one has got. If you guys know me at all, you know that it's got everything possible that we could do because that's how I am. But you could get into this engine cast intake 34.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you start adding all the fancy stuff that I wanted, you get up into closer to 50. You know what I mean? 55, somewhere around there. And I'll find out. I hope it ain't over 50. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know. This engine, maintenance-wise, not this one exactly, but the old one, right? The old engine, I sold the old engine, complete intake to pan. I just put a new set of rods in it, bearings, rings. That's what I can, new valve springs, and valve job, freshen up head gaskets, yada yada. Everything looked great. I still have all the old parts that came out of it. I'm actually going to keep, I kept them for spares for the new owner. And that's what I consider a freshen up. We go through, I don't know, maybe like this engine will probably go through all the testing and then we'll do sick week, we'll pull it out, we'll freshen it. Maybe that you don't have to freshen as much. I don't think so.
Right.
I think you freshen it more.
Yeah. I mean, just bearings are smaller. I mean, you got to think horsepower is horsepower. Right. So if you got 2,000 horsepower on this one and 2,000, it's the same amount of force and load. That's what, and that's being transferred through bearings or through pistons, rods, bearings to a crank. I mean, it's all relative. You know what I mean to what you're putting it on.
Yep. So you're right. My opinion, big block Chevrolet. I'm partial to Par Racing engines, Spartanburg, South Carolina. They've treated me great. They have everything in stock. If you need quick turnaround because you Clarked it or something like that, they'll take care of you. I've seen plenty of people Clark their motors and get them to them, and they get them fixed right away. They're great to deal with. They're honest. They're not con artists. You know what I mean?
And the reason he has so many parts is because he builds so many engines. Like, he don't order a set of pistons.
No.
Or a block.
No.
Or a set of cylinder heads. No. It's probably 30 to 50 blocks at a time.
Yeah, he orders like a skid of cranks. Like, it's interesting because it's like, if you're like, oh, well, my engine builder's got like 2 cranks in stock. He's like, yeah, man, I got 2 pallets of them over there. Because and that's not a brag.
Right.
It's just that he does so much volume. He's not well known in drag and drive.
Right.
But really well known in top sportsman racing, top dragster, like all that kind of stuff. He's got a heck of a combo figured out. It works great. But then you don't want to do big block Chevrolet because you hate crossbreeding and you think I'm an idiot because we put a Chevrolet motor in a Ford, call up FFRE.
Yeah, call
You know what I mean? I deal with 4,000 chains and 328 cam followers, and no, they're good angels.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's your money. Do what you want with it.
Yeah.
Don't get so upset with other people and what they choose to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't get so. My deciding factor was right here, right? This spark plug is like $3. All right, I had to buy some spark plugs for a customer for this thing, for one of these, and it was like $9.
Right.
And I was like, no, I'm out. I'm out.
And you got to use 2 different styles to be able to read one, and then
Yeah, I was all, I'm out. $9. Now, granted, long term, that's not a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, still, I was just like, oh, come on. No, I got a couple hundred of these at home. I can't abandon ship yet,
So anyway, that's just kind of a little background of what he's had engine-wise and what's led to doing this and the reasons why behind it. I mean, it's a big part of it is reliability, but also just a working relationship with shops. So find that shop you can work with and build what you want to build at the end of the day.
Yeah.